Is there anything else I can get you? You just water or?
Water, it's okay.
For those of you who don't know, I'm having some Coke and Captain Morgan, which is rum, spiced rum, and I think I did it a little too much, but I don't know how you see me. I think I'm holding up pretty good.
I haven't even drunk anything.
I haven't drank anything. All right, there you go. Oh, something interesting. So, like I said, we're in Mexico right now. I'm not in LA where I usually film. I found it interesting here in Mexico. They passed a law where you guys have to label all your food, right, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, it may not be clear, but here there's this little label that they like stickers that they put on food and drinks. It says excessive calories, excessive sugar. So I wonder if that is something that would ever be done in the United States, and what kind of impact. Do you feel like this impacts you when you go shopping? Like you're like, oh fuck, like I didn't know that had sugar or a lot of sugar, or does it make you not purchase it?
The thing, yeah, it does. The thing is that you already know, you already know that you're buying something that has a lot of sugar and stuff. But when you are about to get it and you see the labels, like it reminds you. So it's like, do you really need to eat this?
Yeah.
Of course, like for regular foods, there's still like, well, I would say regular foods that as in like regular groceries that you need to make, as in sour cream and stuff like that, cheese or so, you still get them.
Right.
But for me, as if I'm gonna get those chips that I used to get so often, I still stop myself when I was like,
think about it, like before you would just grab the bag of chips, and now you see that label.
Yeah, and it's like, do I really need that?
Yeah, it makes you really do think about it extra.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Let's continue. So the reason you're here is, man, we recently just saw Texas. I believe the governor, Greg Abbott of Texas, he wants to open everything fully. Back business, school, everything back on. If I'm not mistaken, March 10th, which is next week.
Okay.
And he also like doesn't want to make it mandatory to be wearing a mask. And you're a nurse. Please educate us on this topic. How do you feel about it? Like,
I think that I feel pretty upset about these things. Like when the president over here is greeting people without their masks, or
President of Mexico.
Yeah, President of Mexico, and the
greeting people without masks.
There was.
And he just have COVID as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then the president over there in the United States, the one that used to be president, he's saying like, it's okay, I had nothing, it was just a regular flu. Like,
I mean, he almost died, I think.
I don't know.
They'll never tell you.
That's a big slap to our faces, like all the health system.
To all the nurses.
Yeah.
All the
I feel pretty offended of those actions of people, because I went through that when it was barely starting, and it was really difficult. It was really, really traumatizing. How do you say it?
Traumatizing.
Yeah, traumatizing. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. It was pretty bad. Like you said, I was a former shift nurse in an hemodialysis clinic.
So those people, they already have like a compromised bad immune system.
They have bad immune system, and those people, you really do need to take care of them always, regular. Imagine with this pandemic, with this unknown virus, of what it's gonna do to people, like regular people now. Imagine to these people that already have compromised system. Right. So for me, it was a goal that I had set on my mind ever since I started in that clinic. I started from the bottom, and I'm not leaving this clinic until I finish like as a shift nurse. That's what I wanted to be, and I got to be promoted the starting of the year, January, February, something like that. So I was barely training to be a shift nurse right there and hemodialysis, and I was trying to get ahead of it, but it was when the pandemic started.
Yeah.
So we had lack of employees.
Lack of employees, huh?
Yeah, lack of employees. And it was really hard, because as a chief nurse, you are supposed to be in charge, you are supposed to, of course, like to back up the people and to help them, and everything, but like to do some other stuff, some other
They
tasks.
really threw you into the fire right there.
Yeah, they did. So we have no staff. We have the new ones. We have to train them, and you still have to be with the patients. So
the pandemic that's coming.
Exactly. So it was really all bad because it was a lot of responsibility, I guess, that we had. We were not eating. We were not resting. I was going from 5 in the morning to open the clinic, and I finished sometimes at 11 or 12 at night, and I had to go back the next day, and it was just all crazy. And I remember even the first case that we had for COVID, that I would say we had for COVID, because it was unknown, like I said, on those days. I had a patient that she was feeling so bad on the process, because like hemodialysis is that their kidneys they're failing on them.
They have a kidney failure, right?
They have a kidney failure, so the machine works as a kidney for them. They take out the liquids they don't need. Then they can
filters their. Is it filters the blood, the urine? What is
it filters the liquids within your body, either the waste and the fluids in it.
Mm-hmm.
So usually your kidneys will do that, but since it's a failure, you need to create an access to get it out. Right. So to get out the excess of liquid that you already have,
get all the toxins out,
and get the toxins out.
Right.
So for that, the hemodialysis, you have that. You use your access, the access for you, the as in they can be a fistula or catheter, and it helps you pump out the blood through the machine and then to the filter, and then pump it back to your body as well, right, already clean. And this, it's kind of hard already. I lost my train of thought.
Are you the one drinking, or am I the one drinking?
Sorry.
Oh.
I just
I think you were talking about that.
You know that meme, like, where they tell you something that it pumps you out and it reminds you to the really bad days. And I was just starting like thinking of how overwhelming those were.
Like was it Donald Duck in that cartoon when he goes back to war? And
Something like that. It kind of went like that.
I think you're talking about your first patient that you've realized had COVID. See,
okay, so
this goes out.
It's because I was trying to like explain what hemodialysis was, and I got lost on it. Yeah. So this patient said they have pretty difficult because they already had to be so really precise with the treatment. They have to go 3 times a week, and they have to get strict on their diet. They have to get strict on the liquids that they already have. And so with this pandemic, it was hard on them. So I had this patient that she would always get kind of bad on the treatments. That treatment affects differently to every patient. Right. Like you can see them sitting down, and their hair is pumping a lot. It's pumping so much, like even as if they were to be in a race or something, because all the blood is going around their system so fast. So they
get fatigued, they get tired because
they can. Not apparently, but like anything can happen to them. So we can really need to be monitoring them. Yeah, that. And okay, so I had this patient that she had regular present a lot of symptoms before that on her treatment. Mm-hmm. But this was something totally different. She started feeling bad. She said that she started feeling she was feeling dizzy. She was feeling cold. She was feeling hot later. Then she started coughing, and then she was saying that she couldn't breathe, and like she was a patient that even though she felt so bad before, she would never like to go to the hospital. And then she asked us so much to take away the system already, to take her to the hospital. That something was wrong.
So she
with
knew
the,
something was different.
yeah, something was wrong with her. She's like, I can breathe, I can breathe. So we took her out. We called the ambulance because the clinic that I was in, it was just in my dialysis clinics. If something went wrong, like you need to call the ambulance. Yes, you need to call the ambulance and take it to the hospital. So I remember seeing her. Like I said, it's a patient that you already know, and you get familiar with these patients because you see them all the time.
Right.
You see them 3 times a week, and I don't know the United States. I don't know how it works, but over here you go to work 6 days a week because you see patients 3 times a week, which is they have the treatment Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So you need to be all those days.
You guys work 6 days a week?
We do work 6 days a week.
Oh wow! At USA, you can't complain. We work 5 days a week,
Yeah.
full time. That's considered. Oh wow!
But the thing is, like I said, you get so familiar with the patients that you already kind of know if something goes wrong.
Right.
So with this patient, I saw her, and everybody got so worried, and all the other patients, if they see a patient getting back like that, like we had some other patients that started getting bad as well because you just,
it affects the whole mood
it
of
affects
everybody.
everything.
Interesting.
Yeah, so we got the ambulance, and before the ambulance came, she started coughing blood,
Oh wow!
and yeah, it was just so weird. Like it's something that you wouldn't regularly see.
And you said this was during the beginning of the pandemic? She was the first one that you seen?
Yeah, I would say that was February or so.
February, okay. Yeah.
That was February or so.
I think the shutdown was in March of 2020, so.
Yeah, something.
So you saw like just under a month before.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then yeah, so I was talking to the doctor and everything, and we discussed the symptoms. And even when we turn into the ambulance, you have to give the report and everything. And the doctor and I just agree. We're like, this can even be the first case that we know of COVID right here in the clinic. And yeah, like I remember that people right there didn't want us to say that aloud, so nobody will freak out. Exactly, as the staff and the patients and everything.
Right.
But we were already working with some equipment to protect ourselves. And I remember they say just throw everything away, get new ones, and as soon as you get home, sanitize yourself, put everything to wash, get in the shower and everything. That's how we did. And yeah, but I remember that day I had to stay in later to report that, and I remember it felt so weird, like typing that it was a probably case of COVID, and I was like, man, like, this is here, like we are facing it, and this is barely the beginning of it.
Right.
So then, as the days went by, I got the call to start working in this other hospital that I wanted to be so bad, since I was a government institution. And the thing is that it was a pandemic time, I hadn't started the process before, but now as the pandemic started, the process had stopped. Because you have to do everything slowed down. There was a lot of things, steps that you need to follow in order to enter this kind of institutions.
Right.
And tests, blood tests, medical tests, regular tests to get in. And so people were stopping everything, so we couldn't enter.
Right.
And then they were needing staff, of course, because the pandemic was going so bad. This was already in March.
Need for staff now.
Yeah. So we had already done our test and everything.
Yeah.
And we stopped again because we were in the middle of the medical test and all that. So we stopped because of the pandemic, and we couldn't continue with the process anymore. And they were hiring people only for the pandemic, not that they were gonna get a permanent job there. So then all the people like me that we were barely entering, we talk with people and saying like, you know what, you're trying to get people to work in the pandemic, but we already here and we already want to start working, and why don't you just hire us?
Right.
And we were able to follow the whole process and everything in one end. So I faced myself with this decision to make, whether like to go to the hospital knowing that I was going to have COVID patients, or to stay here and keep on being the shift nurse that I wanted to be.
Right.
And then I really thought about it, and I was like, even though if I'm working in the other hospital, even if my schedule matches to the other one, and even if I'm taking good care of myself and I get all the measures that I have to take in order not to get sick,
yeah,
am I gonna be 100% sure that I'm not gonna make any other person sick? You know, I was worried about getting it to my house, and I was so much worried as well as getting it to the other clinic. So I really had to make the decision, and I say that I don't want nobody to die because of me.
Right.
Because what if I give that to the virus, to besides the family members, to the patients that I have? Like I said, the immune system is more compromised and everything.
Right.
I didn't want them to think it was me. I didn't want me to know that I could give it to them. So I had to just quit. And I chose, and I chose to quit the clinic.
Well, it was a tough decision.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was because it was something that I had already decided I wanted and to follow, and God knows how much I loved my job back in the days. Even though that I was there 6 days a week or sometimes even more, and all day having to work double shifts and all that.
Well, good thing there's people like you in this world, because you see a lot of people, you know, like I'm sure I don't know how it is over here, but there's a lot of people who quit. You know, they just.
No, we had that. That's what I'm saying. Maybe I didn't really make it clear, but people quit a lot because of the pandemic. That's
right,
why it was all crazy at the clinic.
People were freaking out.
Yeah, it was so crazy.
I mean, like you said, you experienced that with that patient, where you freaking out. You're like, man, this is gonna be the end of the world. What did you think at first?
I don't know if that happened with everybody, but I had asked that to my coworkers as well, and what was the first reaction when they first were in front of a case like that, you know? And the first thing that you think is your family. Like, man, she's sick. What about me if I get sick? What about my family? What if I get them sick, you know? You're not even worried about yourself. At least I was not worried about myself.
Right.
I was worried about like
spreading it out.
spreading it out at home with the other patients and everything. And you're like, I think that I can handle it, but can others?
Right.
You know, that's what that happened to me. So then here I am after March. I quitted my other job, and I was.
So you're gonna complete a year already. I mean, because the pandemic's already, since the whole shutdown has been a year.
I'm just trying to process how everything was. March, I got the call, but then beginning of April, I had to quit. I quit it on April. Yeah, I quit it on April, and I got.
You quit being chief nurse. To start at the new hospital.
Yeah,
okay.
And I had gotten injured in my other job, so I didn't work after another 15 days.